President Trump just dropped a ceasefire bombshell, and the world is holding its breath. In a late-night Truth Social post and follow-up remarks, Trump declared that the United States and Iran have held very good and productive conversations over the last 48 hours. He announced he has ordered the Department of Defense to pause all planned strikes on Iranian power plants and energy infrastructure for 5 full days while talks continue. Trump says Iran wants to make a deal very badly and that a complete resolution of the conflict could be close. Markets reacted instantly. Oil prices, already sliding after the Hormuz reopening, dropped another 4% in overnight trading. But here's the part that has analysts and intelligence officials sounding the alarm. Iran is flat out rejecting the entire narrative. The IRGC spokesman went on state television and mocked the idea, saying the United States is negotiating with itself. Tehran insists no direct talks are happening, called the U.S. 15-point plan unreasonable, and issued its own list of demands, including war reparations, an end to attacks on its proxies, and formal recognition of its control over the Strait of Hormuz. Strikes on Iranian naval vessels were still being reported, even as Trump made his announcement. So the question everyone is asking right now is simple. Did Iran just quietly agree to Trump's ceasefire? Or is this nothing more than Tehran buying time for round 2? Let's break it down. First, the relief feels real on paper. A 5-day pause in U.S. strikes gives both sides breathing room. With the Strait of Hormuz already reopening and tanker traffic slowly returning, a genuine ceasefire could flood global markets with stabilized supply. Analysts say full recovery in oil prices could happen within 10 to 14 days if the pause holds and repairs at damaged Gulf facilities accelerate. Pump prices that have been punishing drivers for weeks could finally ease heading into summer. Airlines, manufacturers, and households that have been hammered by volatility would get their first real break in a month. But the trap is hiding in plain sight. Iran has every incentive to play for time. Its leadership is still reeling from leadership losses and damaged energy sites. A temporary pause lets them resupply proxies in Lebanon and Yemen, repair key facilities out of the spotlight, and wait for the next window to strike. History shows Tehran has used these kinds of talks before, publicly denying negotiations while quietly repositioning. The fact that U.S. Marines and warships are still deploying to the region, even as Trump talks peace, only adds to the suspicion. Second, the timing is no coincidence. This announcement comes just days after the Texas refinery explosion that knocked out hundreds of thousands of barrels of daily capacity. Markets were already on edge. A ceasefire headline right now could be the perfect narrative to calm investors, while Iran uses the breathing room to prepare the next move in the shadow war that has already moved from the Persian Gulf to American soil. Third, the global ripple effects are enormous either way. Europe's natural gas storage is still dangerously low. Asia's import-dependent economies lost billions during the Hormuz closure and cannot afford another disruption. Even with oil sliding, economists warn that any breakdown in these talks could send prices surging past $110 again overnight. Supply chains for fertilizer, medicine, and consumer goods remain fragile. One wrong move and the fragile recovery collapses. Watch these 3 signals very closely in the coming days. First, whether Iran actually stops proxy attacks or missile activity. Any flare-up in Lebanon or the Red Sea would prove the pause is purely cosmetic. Second, actual tanker traffic and insurance rates through Hormuz. If volume stays below 70% or war risk premiums don't drop further, the deal is not real. Third, what Washington does with the marine deployments. If reinforcements keep pouring in while Trump talks peace, the market will price in a trap. Right now, the bombshell is still exploding in real time. Trump is painting a picture of progress. Iran is painting a picture of defiance. Oil is moving, headlines are moving, and the next 10 to 14 days will decide which story wins. Is this the real path to recovery? Lower prices, stabilized energy markets, and an end to the nightmare? Or is Iran simply buying time for round two while the world looks the other way? The answers are coming fast. The markets are pricing them in even faster. And every driver, every business, every household feeling the pain at the pump is now watching to see if this ceasefire is the beginning of the end or just the calm before the next storm.